And joining us live to discuss more on the ASUU strike declared by the union today is the chairman of ASUU, University of Lagos, Dr. Dele Ashiru, who is here with me in the studio. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much for this invitation.
I'm sure this is a very familiar territory. Now, it appears, if you don't mind, the union is synonymous with strike actions based on the altercations between the federal government and the union. At the end of the day, is strike the only option?
Well, thank you very much. We are open to options, and we have asked those who raise these questions to suggest such options. But the other option that is available is to close the universities and forget about it. In Ghana, universities in Ghana were closed for 2 years, after which, they began to take tertiary education very seriously. The option we have is to allow government to destroy the only remaining functional public university system in Nigeria. And when we talk about students bearing the brunt of strikes, our members also bear the brunt of strikes. The last strike we embarked upon, for 9 months, our salaries were withheld. Our members were not able to pay their medical bills. So we don't enjoy going on strike. We go on strike at very great pains, and people kept blaming the victim for the sins of the oppressor. You signed an agreement with the union in 2009. This is 2022.
Okay.
More than 13 years after, that agreement is still being implemented in breach. It may shock you that university lecturers have been receiving the same salaries since 2009 till date. That is not only wicked, it is unfair. So our students should realize that it's either we continue to struggle together to get a university system that is internationally competitive, or we refuse to do what we are doing and allow government to destroy the university system, particularly because their own children don't attend those schools.
If you may, honestly, with the current economic situation in the country and maybe around the world, let's come home to Nigeria. The government has always mentioned the fact that there's always a revenue issue. Do you think they'll be able to meet these demands by us?
Government finds money to do whatever they want to do. And the cost of governance in Nigeria is the highest in the world. So if we have a responsible government, a government whose interest is in the development of the human capital in the society, the money to fund education should not be the problem. And look at societies that are making progress. They are doing so because of conscious investment in education. And even in Nigeria that you talked about, when we invested in education, we benefited from it. The society benefited from it. So we are convinced that there's enough money in Nigeria to fund a university system that is globally competitive.
Let me put a straight question. Let's say this 1 month elapses and no show from the federal government. So what then?
It will be a shame. It will be a shame. Before we got here, there were interventions at the highest level of government. This strike would have come up since September last year. The Speaker of the House of Representatives intervened. President of the Senate, even last week, the NARIEC, National Interreligious Council, met with the president. We thought that they had enough time to resolve this issue. So at the expiration of the 4-week rolling strike, if government does nothing, we will reconvene at our National Executive Council meeting and take decisions as appropriate.
Is there an end in sight to recurrent strike action by ASUU? Is there ever going to be an end in sight?
If government lives up to its billing as a government of the people whose interest is in the development of its own society, there should be no strike. But as long as government feels that education can be destroyed for whatever reason, then our union, as a union of intellectuals, have a responsibility to save this society from itself.
At the end of the day, the people that bear the brunt are the students, and by extension, the parents.
We bear the brunt.
I'm talking about, the battle is between ASUU and the federal government, primarily.
The battle is between federal government and the Nigerian people.
Okay, if you want to put it that way. But let's say the students and the parents bear the brunt at the end of the day. Is there a way ASUU thinks about their action and how it impacts the generality of the students and the society at the end of the day?
Look, if we don't do what we are doing, these children and their parents would have no university to go. Can you, with all due respect, take your child to a public primary school or a public secondary school? Think about it. They became what they were, what they are now, because there was no structure, no organ to hold government in check. I went to a public primary school. I don't know about you, but today, I doubt whether we can take our kids to public primary school. And the way we are going, if not for ASUU's persistent struggle, it is difficult for, if in a country where the minimum wage is 30,000 naira, can you take your word to a private university where they pay 3 million naira per semester?
Just a quick question, 30 seconds to answer before we go. Are you expecting the federal government to respond to all its demands, or a percentage, if you will, of this demand? Just a straight answer.
The demand is only one.
Okay.
Sign and implement the renegotiated 2009 ASUU federal government agreement. That's the only demand. All the issues you itemized are in that agreement. So once that agreement is signed and implemented, if it is done today, we will resume work tomorrow.
All right, thank you so much. Dr. Dele Ashiru is the chairman of ASUU University of Lagos. He's been talking to us over the issue of ASUU strike that was declared today. For 1 month, 4 weeks, ASUU is going to be on a warning strike, and he's been responding to questions based on the next line of action and expectations of the union from the government. Thank you so much, Dr. Dele, for coming on the program.
Thank you for the invitation. Thank you.